Live from New York, here is I've Got a Secret, starring Gary Moore. Thanks a lot. Good evening and welcome to I've Got a Secret. We have some fascinating guests on our show tonight. Before we meet them, though, let's say hello to our fascinating panel, who in the following order are Bill Cullen, Betsy Palmer, and Henry Morgan, and Bess Myers. There we go. And if all is quite in readiness, let us then greet our first contestant. Will you come in, sir? Beautiful suit, but you're rushing the weather up here a little bit, aren't you?
This is my year-round garden.
Really?
This is English woolen.
Magnificent. Warmer than it looks, then.
Thank you. It is. Very comfortable.
Will you tell our panel, please, what your name is and where you're from?
I'm Colonel Harlan Sanders from Shelbyville, Kentucky.
This is Colonel Sanders from Shelbyville, Kentucky. Now, panel, up until a few weeks ago, Colonel Sanders was the president of a thriving business that franchised his own fried chicken recipe. Now, Colonel, you just sold that business at a rather handsome profit. Do you still have the check that you received for the sale of your business?
Yes, it has, Jerry.
We'd like very much to show it to our studio audience. Hope you haven't mislaid it.
All right, no, I hope so, too, because I really like that meeting.
Well, let's just show it to our audience in case some of them have just perhaps never had a chance to look at a $2 million check. A check for $2 million. He just sold his business. There you go. That's a nice little nest egg you got there.
Thank you. That'll work well for me.
I'm sure it will. May I ask how old you are?
Nolly asked me the other day how old I was, and I told her I was nearer 90 than I was 50. She said I didn't look a minute over 80, but I am 74 years old, guys.
74 years old. Well, now, the real story is how he got started in the business that he just sold. So if you'll whisper it to me, we'll show the audience at home how you went about starting your business. Here we go. You want to whisper anything? All right. Now, panel, the clue to Colonel Sanders' secret concerns where he got the money to start the business which he just sold for $2 million. And we'll start the game with Bill Cullen, please.
Well, assuming you started the business, Colonel, I am just guessing now, 40 years ago when you were 34, let's say. That would put 1934. Did the way you got the money have anything to do with the Depression at all?
No.
No. Am I correct? Would it help us to know when you started the business? Would that help us determine?
I think it would, sir. They're shrewd enough.
Did it have anything to do with World War...
But let's not tell them. Let's make them work for it. Let them work for it.
Don't be stop there so I could hear them, did it have anything to do with World War I, sir?
No.
With any war?
No.
No more wars. Was it more recently than 1930? Has it been since 1930?
Oh, yes.
$20 down, $60 to go. And we go, please, to a bewildered-looking Betsy Palmer.
Yes. You started this then not very long ago?
Not too many years ago.
Not too many years ago. Would you say you started this... Did you start this in Kentucky?
Yes, I did.
And was there anyone else involved with you?
No.
When you started this? Was there a machine involved?
No.
Was there an incubator?
Was there what?
Was there an incubator involved?
Was there an incubator involved?
You didn't have chickens to make these chicken pies?
Yes, when they started.
Well, I was going to say way back there had to be an incubator somewhere, but that has nothing to do with the way his business was financed. We have $40 down and $40 to go. We go, please, to Henry Morgan.
Colonel, were you ever in the liquor business?
No.
No offense, sir, but you would look great on a label, I must say.
I must say I was thinking of that. You could sell me anything. Well, where did you make the money for the chicken business from another business?
No.
Did you, oh, and now, you said the date would help, and we forgot about that. Was it within the last 10 years?
Yes.
Just about.
$60 down, $20 to go. Let me give you that one final hint. He's 74 years old now, and it was just within the last 10 years. Now, all right, let's get to Bess. Bess, I give you a big clue.
You certainly did, because I thought possibly that Colonel Sanders got his money from betting on horses. So that isn't it. It's Social Security, right?
That's exactly right. Not that he needs it, but I'm going to give him the complete $80 because I gave you such a broad hint that it was almost unfair. Now, when Colonel Sanders reached the age of 65, he did what many of our senior citizens do. He received his first security check, Social Security. But unlike most people, he did not retire. He took that first check, $105, and used it and it alone to create the business that he just sold for $2 million. 9 years old. Colonel, as I understand the story, you had been in the restaurant business, but you sold it just before you went on Social Security,
Yes,
right?
I did. See?
They built a superhighway around his restaurant, and so his restaurant ceased to do well. But did you use any of the money that you received from the sale of your restaurant?
No, I had to use it to pay my debt.
I see. So, in effect, you were almost broke when you received the first check for $105.
That's right.
He had one great asset, which was the marvelous fried chicken that he served in his restaurant. So he then went about franchising this special recipe to different restaurants all over the state. What did you do with the $105?
You used it for travel and so forth. You see, I knew that this chicken was finger-licking good. All I had to do was to get it to the people and let them have a sample of it. So I used that in travels for restaurants, for gasoline, hotel, and my food and so forth.
And obviously, you started with one restaurant, and then you increased into how many? Finally.
Oh, there's over 1,000 franchises over the United States, all the way from 130 miles to the Arctic Circle, comes to the Gulf of Mexico.
And in his pocket right now, he has another check. And what is that check, sir?
Oh, that's my Social Security check for this month. But when I was 2 years old, they started, Gary, about paying me again.
Yeah, now he's retired again, you see. He sold his business, he's back on Social Security, and he's gotten a raise. He's now getting $127 a month. And, sir, if you have any plans to start another business with that $127, how about let me put up $127 and we'll be partners?
Gary, I'd rather have you than anybody I know as a partner.
Hey, look at me, Mom. We'll get rich. Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you.
Oh, sir, you forgot your $2 million. Almost forgot his $2 million. Wouldn't that have been a shame? Well, we'll be back with you again in just a minute, but first let's watch this.
Hey man, what you finna do? Get some Queen Bee barbecue? Say, look here man, why don't you pick me up some rib and a hot pepper and some potato salad? And bring me some Louisiana hot sauce and some white bread. And one of them big red soda waters, alright? Say man, wait up. I just go with you. Say man, look here. Let's take your car, right? I'm a little low on gas. And say man, how about you loan me $5 so I can get some of that fine Queen Bee barbecue?
Queen Bee barbecue.
That sure is some fine barbecue. I don't need lots of barbecue places now. Let me tell you about it. But Queen Bee is the best barbecue there is.